A lot of AI is being pitched to folks who aren't informed consumers of the product. A lawyer isn't an informed consumer who knows what it's supposed to do, and these phrases aren't just phrases that make sense, they're phrases that do things. Great example is someone used, this is a condition precedent to payment. That sounds like a great sentence. That sounds like a great phrase. No, it means that if you don't do this, they don't have to do anything else. But that's a legal phrase that sounds like normal, but if you're not an informed consumer, you're gonna get beat up by it.
Welcome to People at Pyramid, a weekly podcast that introduces you to your fellow Pyramid Club members. My name is Vince Quinn, the Content Studio Director, and I'm here to showcase the stories of your fellow members, explore the ways that they can help you and your network, and make it easy for you to connect. With that, let's meet our next member.
Hi members, my name is Dredeir Roberts. I'm a business lawyer and AI governance consultant, and I've been a member for about 6 months.
Okay, so AI and law is an amazing intersection. Like, as somebody who has now basically joined to the hip with Claude recently, two, did some mock trial in college.
Oh, for sure. You're ready to go.
Legal buff. Yeah. Okay. I know it all. It's such a fascinating intersection because, one, there's all the legality issues that people just fundamentally have with AI, right? All the different concerns about privacy and what kind of data is getting in there and hacks into the system and all that kind of stuff. But then also like using it as a tool to facilitate legal things is such an interesting thing. So like, how did you get here?
Yeah, so I became a lawyer first. We'll start there. And then I joined the business law section of the ABA, the American Bar Association. And I was sort of mentored by more mature lawyers and more established lawyers. And they were like, the way they got their practice was they picked a new thing that nobody knew that well. And they suggested AI. This is 2018, 2019.
Wow. So how are you getting recs for that? Because ChatGPT is like 2022.
Correct.
And that's when people are like, this is a thing.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
So, that's a scoop.
Oh, it was the biggest scoop. So what I got involved in the cyberspace, they were called the cyberspace committee. Like they were
Wow.
They were the folks that were like the first lawyers when business went online. They were the legal advisors for that.
Wow.
So they were like pre-internet to like now everything's online, how to sell things online, how to communicate online. And so these were those lawyers. And so I met the guy who wrote the book on AI in the law. His name is Ted Claypool. We were just on a program like a month or two ago. So it was like a full circle moment for me. But these were those legal geniuses, and they were global. They were from all over the world. And they were like, AI is going to be a big thing. Jump in here.
Wow. So, okay. So now that you're in this space and you've been in it for quite some time now, more than pretty much anybody on the planet, right? Like you had a hell of a head start here.
Yeah.
So with all of that, what is your approach to it on a business side? Like, how do you handle it, deal with it, help people with it?
Yeah. So for clients, it's literally folks who are non-technical. I don't help out Facebook or anybody like that. It's like you own 5 car dealerships, or you own an architecture firm or an engineering firm. That's like my sweet spot. And you want to start implementing AI to optimize your practices. What I do is I say, how do you want to use it? And I come up with, we'll start with an AI use policy. Because the first risk is that your employees are using it without authorization.
Okay, yes. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
You just start with they're doing it. What's the quickest way I can get something in writing to tell them how to use it in a smart versus dumb way? Don't put your social security number in there. Don't put client information in there. And these are the tools we've already signed up with a license to keep our data sort of in a closed system and all those things. So I literally just start with a policy so you can stop the bleeding from your employees doing crazy things.
Yeah.
And then we go from there, tool, process, governance, goals, and we go from there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing because to be able to have the implementation, so understanding how these things can work as systems, just like the operational system structure, facilitating the workflow, but also making sure that they're rock solid legally. And I'm sure too, because with the things of all of this, and I'm sure the legal experience helps you here, is file management, like
Right.
having things named the right way and finding it the right way, organizing all that stuff. Because you can build a ton in AI, but if you have no structure for how any
Correct.
of that works,
Yeah.
it's all over the place. You can't find things. You're not going to get any repeatability in the results. Like there's a lot of work for the architecture, like literally architecture.
The architecture.
Right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so oftentimes you come in and you slow them down. Like you say yes for this very quick thing. Like if you've signed on to Microsoft products and they said this is a closed loop system, go for it with Copilot. But that's not how you're going to make your money, right? You're going to make your money by optimizing your systems. And you start by saying your data actually has to be way cleaner for this to really, really work and save you time. And so we really have to start there. And then for professionals like architects, engineers, they all have licenses.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the times it's rewriting their policies to say to say the sweet words, the phrase that pays, recommendation, suggestion. Because if you're an engineer, you can't abdicate your duties to a tool. You have to say it's recommending things to help me go faster, but it's your responsibility to design and engineer. And so that's what I do for the businesses.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say I am a business. I am a car dealership. I've got 5 different dealerships,
Yeah.
right? We'll roll with that. If I want to get started about thinking about implementing AI into my business, I mean, what are some of the things I can consider, or what are some of the easy use cases that tend to be very effective?
Yeah, you start with your biggest problem that you have like that constantly repeats, right? Don't start with a tool. Like that's sales. Like people will pitch to you. Start with your scheduling. Scheduling is a big one, especially for any service space. Like you've got to get folks in on time and out.
Yep.
Right. I would start with scheduling, and there are fantastic tools for scheduling and making that easier. Now you've got free time. Now what else are you going to do with it? Go with the next one and roll it up. And then you start seeing the process, you start seeing the governance like built in and what we do, what we don't do. And you just go from there. I say start with a task, a process, a structure that you do constantly.
Yeah.
That teaches the team, that shows the team its value. The other issue you're going to have is buy-in. So that teaches the team its value, and you go from there.
Okay. Now, I want to use a phrase that you mentioned before we started the show,
Okay.
which is the idea that having AI is better than no lawyer, and having a lawyer with no AI is better than AI, and then also a lawyer using AI is the most efficient thing.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So walk me through that calculus.
Yeah. So if you don't have if you're trying to draft a contract, drafting that from scratch is going to be hard if you have no legal experience. But having a lawyer draft it is just going to cost you more. Like if they're not using AI, it's
Yeah.
going to take them forever. But if you're just drafting it or you're using AI to draft it, you're going to forget things that lawyers would never forget, like a jurisdiction clause, like what happens if we sue, like the way you write things. Like when I write, I'm thinking, what is every possible way that someone could read this and interpret this in a way where you don't get paid? That's every sentence. That's every word. That's every sentence. That's how a lawyer writes. And so ChatGPT is going to give you something that makes sense to you, but it's not going to think through every way that someone could do. Like it's not going to do those things. So a lawyer who can get a draft done quickly and go edit for all those things, that is optimal. You get all the legal experience quickly into your contract, and that's best.
Yeah, because a lot of these clauses, like a lot of this stuff is going to be involved in contracts generally every time, right? So like when you have your templates, if you will, as this
Correct.
established lawyer, so yes, I've done hundreds of these kinds of contracts. I know all the language. I know all those things. I'm just compiling them based on like basically what boxes you checked.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it really can be that simple.
That's it. And, lawyers are really valuable for getting the deal for you. So you don't want to just put in like give me an independent contractor agreement. Sure, it can give you one, but you care about time and timing the most, right? For this one deal. And so for a lawyer, I know how to write a good timeline for you where the independent contractor has to deliver on your timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is so interesting in that way of like how AI has been used for all of that with legal stuff. Because I've used it for contracts. Like I had a lawyer initially draft contracts for me before AI was really active. And then I've been able to, between that and my mock trial experience, which is storied. I mean, just an incredible.
I think I've heard about it.
There's many plaques on many walls all across America.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with all of that time, I've done AI for contracts. And then beyond that, like I've seen things where people have started to more freely represent themselves in court, which is
Mm-hmm.
fast. I mean, that's a can of worms, I feel
Yeah,
like. But
yeah.
people have built the level of confidence in AI that they're like, yes, I will cite case law through AI, which I would not recommend. I don't know how you feel about that. feels like a dicey proposition at this
Yeah,
point, but like
yeah.
that's how much people have really seen these things come together, and like they're doing it
Mhm.
in real time.
Yeah, for sure. And the biggest risk is that you don't know what you don't know. So AI is really good at sounding good, and it could be good, but it could not be good. Right? Like if I asked AI to teach me how to plug certain things in, I'd be like, that looks right, but I'm not an electrician. So it might be right. It might electrocute me. So
Yeah.
like and so the problem is a lot of AI is being pitched to folks who aren't informed consumers of the product. Right? Like a lawyer is an informed consumer who knows what it's supposed to do, and these phrases aren't just phrases that make sense, they're phrases that do things. Great example is someone used, oh, this is a condition precedent to payment. Like, oh, that sounds like a great sentence. That sounds like a great phrase. No, it means that if you don't do this, they don't have to do anything else. They don't have to pay you. They don't have to deliver everything on time. Like, but that's a legal phrase that sounds like normal. But if you're not an informed consumer, you're going to get beat up by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, all that kind of stuff is crazy. And it is tough because linguistically, a lot of it almost feels like contracts are written in a way where it's meant for me to just like turn my brain off, where it's like
That's right.
heretofore notwithstanding. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, please kill
Yeah,
me.
it's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful. We're trying to like kill that way of speaking. The goal is to speak as correctly as possible. It is not to throw in all these Latin phrases that nobody understands.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so exhausting with all
Yeah.
of that stuff. It's completely
It's
insane.
quite silly. Yeah.
Yeah, but when it's like a historic thing, and a lot of the people have been trained to write that way, right? Like
Yeah.
it's the schooling to tell you to do that. It just compiles.
Yeah, yeah, and the other reason why you write contracts is so judges understand what you're saying. So if it ever goes to court, the judges go, "Oh, you meant to be paid on Friday."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's change gears a little bit because I could talk to you about that all day.
Okay.
I really could. But free time, when you're not doing legal advising and AI work and all this cool stuff, what do you like to do?
Oh man, I love watching sports. You talked about college football. Glad that that's a break because my internal like nervous system can't take that year round.
From which team, by the way? What was your
Yeah,
team?
yeah. Penn State's my team.
There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The coach has changed. We'll see how this year goes, but I'm probably going to be upset in the
Yeah.
fall. The other thing I like to do is I host these salons with my friends like twice a year, and we come up with these crazy like themed parties that folks have to show off their creativity and their thinking, and it's been a thing I've done that I enjoy a lot.
Okay, and so for people, just to clarify then contextually, we're talking about like French style, all the artists getting together
Correct.
at these parties, and it's like,
That's
oh, here's
it.
Picasso over here and that. You're doing those kinds of
I'm
parties?
doing those
That's
kinds of
awesome.
parties.
Can you take
yeah.
us like through a theme? Like
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
something you've
So
done?
one of them was called Camp, and it was a mix of camp, like camping, like literally we set up tents in my yard and we went camping outside.
Yes, this rocks.
The other one was like camp, like games, like things you do at camp, like around the campfire games. And the other one was like camp, like campy. It's a type of like artistic style that's sort of comes from queer culture and things like that, where you get dressed up in like really androgynous and dramatic and extravagant outfits. And so folks came as their campy self and they went camping. So not only were we like outside camping in a tent, but we were in these like very campy outfits while we did all of these childlike things. And so that was one of my salons.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Okay. I love everything about this. This is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay. So very cool. All right. Well, we've already hit our time. I mean,
Okay.
it's the blink of an eye. So for anybody who wants to keep up with you, meet you, if any members in the club that haven't seen you around yet, what's the best way to get in touch?
Best way is to find me on LinkedIn at dredeirlaw.com. Yeah.
All right. Well, Dredeir, thank you for joining us on the show.
Yeah, no problem.